Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe, and here's tonight's sports ticker. Nebraska Athletics announced today the members of the 2021 Nebraska Football Hall of Fame class. It's comprised of members of the 1971 National Championship squad, including defensive end John Atkins, center Doug Dumler, defensive tackle Bill Jansen, tight end Jerry List, monster back Dave Mason, and offensive guard Keith Wertman. The class will be inducted on September the 10th, along with the 2020 class that did not get inducted because of the pandemic. Both classes will then be honored during the Buffalo game on the 11th. Current Husker third baseman Max Anderson has been named an All-Star in the Cape Cod League. That's the prestigious summer league for college baseball players. The Big Ten's Freshman of the Year is currently hitting .311 with a home run and 7 runs batted in for the Bourne Braves. Nebraska Athletics has hired Dr. Lawrence Chatters as their new Senior Associate Athletic Director for Diversity. Chatters has been at Midland University, but has spent time in his career at UNL. It's Game 6 tonight in the NBA Finals as the Bucks host the Suns. Milwaukee can close things out with a victory as they are up 3-2. Tip-off at about 8 o'clock. Now, checking the Major League Baseball scoreboard, the Athletics win their 55th game of the year. They blank the Angels 6-0. The Royals currently lead the Brewers in the top of the ninth in Milwaukee 5-2. That game moved to an afternoon game because of the NBA Finals in Milwaukee. Just underway, Miami is taking on Washington. About to start, Philadelphia at the Yankees. The Mets are in Cincinnati to take on the Reds. The Orioles will battle the Rays here in a few minutes. They're in a rain delay in Detroit. Tigers and Rangers hoping to get one in tonight. About to start, San Diego and Atlanta. They were washed out last night. Later tonight, Cleveland is at Houston. Minnesota's in Chicago to take on the Pale Hose. The Cubs in St. Louis to battle the Cardinals. Seattle is in Denver taking on the Rockies. Pittsburgh at Arizona, and San Francisco is in Los Angeles to play the Dodgers. Already postponed today, the Red Sox and Blue Jays, wet conditions in Buffalo. Those are tonight's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network, bringing you the best Husker sports experience.
Kubik sends it past me. Gonzalez. It's over the net. Shut back by Stubrins. It's in. They did it. Match point, Big Red. 15-10 in the fifth. Fighting back from the abyss, down 2 sets love. Nebraska claims opening night against Ohio State. 15-10 set 5. My goodness.
Lauren Stivrins is a great leader, and Lauren was talking to those guys through when we were struggling, and she got them to change their mindset. And then I think Lexi led the way, and Nicklin, and so those are the guys that got to do that. Then it was fun to watch. We played Husker volleyball.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Sports Nightly. So glad you've chosen to spend a little bit of your Tuesday night with us. We hope you keep you entertained here in the next couple of hours and caught up on some of the day's hot topics of the day. It is warming up out there. I was walking around earlier today, a little bit warmer. Going to be in the upper 90s later on in the week. But it's July. It should be that way, right? Big day for Husker basketball. They had a bunch of players made available today for the media to talk to. We're going to hear from 2 of them. The McGowan brothers, Bryce and Trey. Trey was with the Huskers a year ago. Bryce is the first ever 5-star signee for Husker basketball. So he comes to join big brother. Jessica's going to sit down with those 2 brothers here in a little bit. Cannot wait to hear that conversation. And it was so interesting today, Jessica, because they had reporters come over to the Hendricks Complex / the Devaney Center today, and it's the first time any of those players, since they've been at Nebraska, were involved in an in-person
It's crazy.
press conference.
It's crazy.
Nothing last year.
And it's also, crazy to think about talking with some of the players and coaches for this football team. There could be guys that have been around for 3 years that are about to see their first experience inside Memorial Stadium. Maybe they were, red shirting or, not really playing much, but kind of their first taste of playing in front of a full capacity crowd, and basketball teams the same way, and they're 2-3 year guys that have really not had the full experience.
Pretty much that entire team has never been in the same room as one of our media members to see them physically, because everything last year was Zoom for basketball. Now, Keith Mann, head of football, opened up the spring practices, so some of those media sessions were in person. But to cover an entire year of a team, and Fred Hoiberg turned that roster over so much a year ago, those guys have never sat across the table from one of our print reporters, TV reporters, radio reporters. It's just crazy to
Which
think
can be
those won't
hard
happen.
when you're in a Zoom session, because you want to just have a conversation and you got to
Absolutely.
be called on, and
Right.
you're silenced, and you got to stay on, what is it, mute?
Yes.
And and then what if you cut out? And
What
it's
if you
just-
forget to
and then it's,
unmute?
it's just not as right. And which happened. How many times did we see that where it's like, hey, buddy, you're on mute. You're on mute. I can't hear you. But you just can't get a feel for asking questions and answering questions, and it's hard. You feel so. As a, I'm sure as an athlete, you don't feel like you're comfortable in that setting. You're talking to a computer screen, and I know it was the norm for over a year, but it's you definitely get a better feel for their personalities when you aren't in front of a computer screen like that.
Think about how many Zooms you've been a part of, and I know our audiences can relate to this, where when somebody does unmute, you're hearing a dog barking or a baby screaming in the background, and
So I had a doggy door at my house.
Did you?
And so I was doing shows, and I had to remember to block off the doggy door. You'd hear the clicking, like, tick, 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 like when they're going in and out of the doggy door. But yeah, I mean, and who even knew what a Zoom was, 8 months ago, a little over a year and a half ago. Who even knew what a Zoom was? And then now it's like the norm. But yeah, so nice to be getting back to normal and getting a feel. Even, at the media day shoot with the football guys, they didn't get to do that last year, and didn't get to, do a green screen shoot and the starting lineups and all that kind of fun stuff where it's, a full of all these people that are there with lots of cameras and the full kind of experience of what that's like to prepare for a season. So it's so glad to be getting back to normal. And some of these things seem tedious in the past. Now everybody's like, thank goodness we get to meet with the media again,
We had Blair Kirchhoff from the Kansas City Star on last night, and he talked about how nice it was just to be in Arlington last week for the Big 12 Media Days and actually be in person for that. So, and we're going to have some in-person guests on our show tonight. I mentioned the McGowans are going to be here in a couple of minutes. Hour number 2, Rob Childress, the new player development director for Husker baseball, the former Texas A&M head coach and former Nebraska assistant coach, going to be in studio as well. Can't wait to catch up with Coach Childress. What an addition by Will
What
Bolt.
an addition.
You get a former SEC head coach to come be a part of your staff. That's just...
You were fired up when you saw that news.
My gosh, I was just ecstatic. And so was Husker Nation. They were really, really fired up. All right, one guy that's never holds his tongue, Jessica, is Clemson coach Dabo Swinney.
Right.
And the SEC Media Days haven't started yet. I think they might be early next week. But Dabo had a press conference today. It was the first time that he had been in front of the media since we learned late in June that it looks like we're going to a 12-team college football playoff. He's not a fan. He's not a fan.
Well, of course he's not a fan. Clemson has been, the beneficiary of how this setup has been. There's no competition in the ACC. I mean, Notre Dame this past year, but they are the clear favorite. They've been there. How many years? They've won 2 national titles. Of course he doesn't want an expansion, but yeah, I mean, definitely not hiding his feelings for we don't want to play that, and we don't think there's 12 teams good enough. So, yeah, of course, Clemson, though, they've had smooth sailing in this deal.
They have been in 6 straight college football playoffs, and as you mentioned, they've won 2 national titles.
But the first time that they're on the fringe, they're the 5th or 6th team that just gets left out. They'll be all for an expansion. Right.
I think his quote about there are not enough good teams. He said, here was his quote, our team is in 4th. They don't want to play more games. And to be honest with you, I don't know that there's 12 teams good enough. You could argue that. But I think the bigger point is, and I brought this up too, you're asking these kids to play an extra couple of games in their college career. And think about how many people we've seen opt out of bowl games in the past because they don't want to risk an injury with the NFL draft a few months away. That's my worry. Are we going to have kids... If you have to play in that first round, and if you're top 4 seed, you will get a bye. You won't have to play all those games. You're going to have to play, 1, 2. You'd have to play 3 extra games. But I think you're going to see some kids that say, no, I'm going to protect my body. I'm not going to put my risk on the line for this.
Yeah, and, I was actually just doing some research, and you think about it, 12, I'm probably in the camp that that's too many.
Do you think too many?
Yeah, absolutely. And, maybe 8, but really if you look at the since the time that the college football playoff has been implemented in the 2014 season, really there's only been about 2 teams that you could argue should have been in that 4. So is there a way that you could do 6, maybe have the top 2 teams get a bye, those 4 teams play in? Because, again, at the end of the season, maybe that still gives some incentive for some teams to keep playing, to fight till the end. College, the conference championships matter. That could be an additional playing game. But, there's really statistically in every single year only been 1 or 2 teams that you could really make an argument for that they should have been in the playoffs. So 12 probably is too many. But 6 or 8?
I was surprised that they jumped to 12.
Yeah.
I thought it would go to 8 with the 5 Power 5s champions all getting in.
And then 3 at large.
larges.
Yeah, I'm for that as well, because you do get those conference champions in, those Power 5. Nobody gets left out there. And even if you have 2 losses, you still get, or 3. You still get,
Pac-12.
Your conference. Hey, what was their statistic of making it? 40% of making it into the college
That was
football playoff
uncalled
this
for.
year?
I shouldn't have done that.
Anyways, but but then there's 3 that there's always an argument for UCF or whoever it might be, Memphis, that they've got 1 loss. Let them in, let them see if they can win, and go from there. But
last year it would have been BYU. It would probably been then, or shoot, Coastal Carolina had a heck of a team a year ago as well. So, but it seems like we're steaming toward 12. In my perfect world, it's 8. And Jessica, I want those first round games on campus. I want them on campus. I do. And then go to the bowl system for the 4 and the 2. Go to that, but put it on campus. I really think that's the way to go.
Well, because you're probably going to be losing a game anyways. So if you take a home game away from some of these places, that's not fair. You're talking about, ticket sales, the revenue that comes into these college towns, how big these games are for these college towns. You're going to take one away from them to go play another bowl game. But yeah, I agree with you. Give those top seeds a chance to have another home game, or to play that, to not lose a home game, if that's the way that it goes, depending on how because you're going to have to figure out the scheduling, right? That's another thing. How do you make it even and match up in the weeks and all of that too?
The argument against it is there's no way somebody from the South should have to come to Lincoln, Nebraska, or Columbus, Ohio, or Ann Arbor and play
Be a top seed.
Snow. Exactly. Be one of the top 4 and host.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't think it's going to go through because I don't think the SEC will approve that. But that's something I want to do. And I hope we hear from Kevin Warren, Big Ten Commissioner, about this topic on Thursday. He is set to address the media. There's some debate whether he's even going to take questions, which I think that's a bad look if he doesn't take questions.
Yeah, he needs to take some questions. But, I also think, too, we've also seen where maybe some teams slip up at the beginning of the season and then they're playing some of the best football at the end, but they have 2 losses, and we're automatically at that point where if you have 2 losses, you can't get in. We're probably getting close to that at some point, because for a while they're like, oh, there's not ever going to be 2 from the same conference, but that has now happened. So, the more and more but if the best teams, they need to be in. So I don't know if 4 is the solution, but I definitely don't think 12 is the solution.
I think it's too big a jump.
Yes.
4 to 12. I do think if you go to 8, you're going to add a lot of interest to those November matchups, because 8 get in, you're going to have another 8 or 10 that think they're going to make it November 1st.
Right.
So all those games that month, they're like, it's high-powered stuff.
Yeah, you still have a lot on the line.
You do, every week.
Because you can still get in.
But Dabo says, no, our team isn't for it. They don't want to play the extra games. And I think that's a legitimate argument. I don't think that not enough good teams are there. That's a weak argument on his part. But saying if your players really don't want to put their bodies on the line, I get that. I could see that. I could see a Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma this year. Does he really want to play 3 more games and risk his NFL future?
Well, that's where I'm saying you tweak the schedule where you take a non-conference game away.
Do you blow up the conference championship games?
Well, and that's another thing, because all the conferences are so out of whack with the numbers of teams.
True.
Like, how do you, because the Big 12 plays everybody, the SEC does not, the Big 10 does not. I mean, how do you, you have to make some sort of scheduling tweaks where it's more even for the teams as well. But I do think you got to take a game away if you're going to add another one at the end.
I agree.
So,
because these aren't pros. I mean, yes, they have the ability to make a little bit of money now with NIL, but these aren't multimillionaires like the NFL guys are.
I do think, though, if there's a chance for them to go play for a national title, they will play another game. But if they're just playing a regular bowl game, yeah, that's when I think you see guys opt out. But if it's chance to go
win a title.
And then there are also guys that need that extra game to put that film on out in front of scouts to say, hey, look what I can do against a team that's, if you're playing in a conference. You said at the Pac-12 that you need to play a better team from the SEC and go, if you're a defensive player or an offensive player and want to go stand out in front of one of these really good teams in a bowl game, it gives you another opportunity to put some good film out there against a good team. But, I do think a lot of these players, they come to win a national title. So, that's one of the, big goals of college athletes, to win a national title. So I don't think if there's a chance for them to play a couple more games to win a national title, I don't think you have opt-outs. But I do think you're still going to have opt-outs if it's just regular bowls.
The insurance companies might like it because they might get more policies bought.
Right?
Buy a policy. Insure yourself. Make sure you're covered with that. All right, if you have any thoughts about that, 402-413-2400, 402-413-2400. Give us a call or a text, and we'll can get your thoughts on the air. Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. It's a Sports Nightly Tuesday night. When we come back, we're going to talk to the McGowan brothers, Bryce and Trey. Bryce, the new addition to the Husker team, the first 5-star athlete ever signed by Husker basketball, joining Big Brother now in Lincoln. Jessica's going to sit down with them next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Husker fans, the 2021 athletic season marks the beginning of mobile tickets for Husker sporting events. Tickets and parking passes for all sports will be available for download in your ticket account on the official Huskers app. It's a safe and easy way to guarantee your entry into some of the most exciting sporting events around. Simply download your ticket from your ticket account or the Huskers app and save to your mobile phone wallet before you leave home. Scan at the gate and enjoy the game. Go Big Red!
Experience the highest levels of luxury at Woodhouse Lincoln, the Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer. Our dedicated sales team is ready to guide you to your perfect vehicle. With a lineup of unique crossovers and SUVs, Lincoln offers insightful technologies, connectivity, and interior amenities, while you experience the highest sales satisfaction among all luxury brands. Visit Woodhouse Lincoln at 144th and Giles Road or online at woodhouselincoln.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Back to adventures in technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is dangling from a mountain of open IT tickets, ready to plunge into the abyss of overtime. But wait! It's Marco's Managed IT to the rescue with a lifeline of 24/7 network and user support. Our IT hero is saved! A quick selfie with Marco's Managed IT team, and our hero is back to work. For more successful Managed IT adventures, go to marconet.com.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Because Ford trucks and SUVs are built to help you every day, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. And now you can get great offers on the entire Ford lineup. Come see how at your local Ford store, based on 2019 calendar year total sales. There's a Ford built for everyone, whether it's the latest driver assist technologies, room to fit the whole family, or the power you need on the job site. Ford has you covered. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers today to find great deals on the right vehicle for you.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. A couple of superstars in studio that are not strangers to being in front of the microphone. We got Trey and Bryce McGowans of Nebraska men's basketball. Recently launched their own podcast, which we want to talk about here in just a second. But let's start off with, how's the summer going, Trey?
The summer's been real well. Honestly, just enjoying time to myself, or just really enjoying time together as a team. And then it's really just a lot of workouts, but we pretty much get those out of the way early, so.
What's the adjustment been like for you, Bryce?
It's been a real smooth adjustment. But first couple weeks, my body was a little tired, because I wasn't really used to it. So now I've got the hang of it, so, everything's going real good.
You guys are all over the place. You got a podcast. You're all over the social media game. How much fun are you having right now?
Nah, I'm definitely having fun. And then doing it alongside my brother just makes it 10 times better. Especially, it's like we're making up for all the time, like the 3-4 years we missed from being apart from each other.
How much fun has it been for you? Freshmen coming in, because a lot of these guys are getting their first taste of NIL, but you get to come in with it.
Yeah, it's been really exciting, getting to build relationships with, each other and really, the fan base and, everybody around the university. So
it's really cool that two brothers are going to get to play college ball together, but let's go back to growing up. What was it like between you guys? Were you pretty competitive? Did you push each other? What was the battles like out in the driveway or in the gym between you guys?
It was definitely intense. Had to be supervised for sure. But, like I said, we haven't played together since I was 8. He was 5 years old. We ended up winning a championship, too.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
What was it like? Was it pretty heated out there?
Yeah, it was very competitive. But, off the court, we've always gave each other our space, to grow and do our own thing. So I feel like that helps us a lot.
How much did that push you going up against an older brother like that?
It really, it pushed me a lot. Yeah, it motivated me. I looked up to him a lot. So, just being able to, be behind him, follow in his footsteps, it's been amazing.
So as you go through the recruiting process, how much did you, because you went through it first, maybe give him some advice, kind of guide him along through it? Because it can be a pretty daunting process, right?
Yeah. I kind of let him, just have the recruiting process, just enjoy it. That's really what I told him. Just enjoy it. You'll know, you can tell the coaches who really care about you. That's really why I ended up here. Coach Matt, relationship he developed with me as well as my family. It's probably a 5-year strong relationship. I was at different school, of course, but me and Coach Matt always kept in touch. When he had Shay, I was at Pitt, I think it was my freshman year at Pitt. I still texted him, told him congrats or whatnot. So I mean, we've always been in touch.
So what was it like for you after you watched him go through the recruiting process, going through it yourself?
Really just enjoying it, and just he always told me, just do what's best for you, and just coming in with the coaching staff that we had, the players that we had coming in, and being able to play with my brother, feel like it was the right decision.
So Trey, you obviously let him do his own thing, but when it kind of became maybe potentially, hey, we could maybe play together in college, how did that conversation go? That had to be pretty exciting.
I mean, we didn't really have a conversation. I mean, of course, like, during the recruitment process, they made edits or whatever. So, I mean, it was just exciting, like, to look at, laugh at. But I didn't really know until Coach Matt told me at practice that Bryce was going to commit. And then, I mean, I didn't really say anything to him until the day he committed. And then I was just super excited because I was like, wow, I mean, we're going to get to play with each other. And, I mean, yeah, sky's the limit.
That's good, though, because I feel like probably a lot of people from the outside looking in probably thought you had a lot to do with it, but you were pretty hands-off in all of it.
Yeah, I was like 100% hands-off. I told him, like I said, just do what's best for you, because what's best for me might not be what's best for you. So, I mean, as long as he succeeds and, takes his basketball thing as well as, like, whatever he does in life, as far as he can take it, I'll be happy.
That being said, though, how much did having the opportunity to get to play with your older brother play into your decision?
It was, it played a big part, just being able to play with him when we were little, when he used to carry the team, and, just being able to, like, over the summers, when he was back home, we, getting pickup games in, and, always either whether it was playing on his team or playing against him, he was always competitive. And, just having somebody beside you that knows that he's going to get it, it made me want to go. Yeah.
The first 5-star recruit in Nebraska basketball history, how do you kind of go about managing and handling that kind of pressure when there's a lot of talk about you coming into this?
Really, I just, stay prayed up, continue to stay humble, don't never get too ahead of myself, and, just continue to work. I wouldn't be here without God, so, just give him the praise as I should every day.
Visiting with Bryce and Trey McGowan's, and you were here last year. It seemed like, especially towards the end of the season, you guys had really bought into this coaching staff and the system and really had a good flow about this team. And Coach Hoiberg has talked about the group coming back, how big that they've been, and what you guys have done this summer. What was the message that you guys had as returners and some of the older guys that you wanted to maybe continue on the trend that you were on towards the end of the season last year?
Coming off this season, we had one goal looking for the next season, getting the pieces to be able to, make the NCAA tournament. So, the coaching staff did a great job putting the pieces together. With the guys that we got, whether it was transfer portals or high school guys, that were going to be able to come in right away and make an immediate impact.
What is it about this coaching staff, Coach Hoiberg system, that you guys do buy in and do want to play for that kind of system?
He stresses simple plays, simple plays, simple plays. We do that drill every day. A lot of along with some other drills. And then really what I like about Coach Hoiberg's system is he just lets us play, especially in practice, so we can get the chemistry, whether it's with a certain group or different guys, to where we'll be able to play with each other, different guys, so like it don't got to be a specific group.
And as a young guy coming in, everybody dreams of maybe getting to the next level. How much does that entice you, knowing that, hey, what Coach Hoiberg does and the way that you play here is going to set you up for what you want to do at the next level? Yeah,
just being able to buy in every day, learn from people that, coached at the highest level, played at the highest level, and just being able to apply that in-game situation or, anything in life. So just being able to, pick up things from the greats. So
how do you also go about, gelling and building that chemistry as a team when you are mixing older guys and new guys that you came in with?
Really, it starts off the court. Getting to know each other, getting to gel, bond with each other off the court, and just bringing energy every day into practice. From the start, it takes us a long way once we get down the road.
There's a lot of excitement around this Nebraska men's basketball program. What's it been like? You've been here and now seeing how many people are so hype about what you guys can potentially do.
I mean, like I've said so many times, I just can't wait to play in PBA and then just get on the court with a group of guys who love playing together and just having one objective, and that's win is one.
I got to ask you guys about the podcast and tell people where they can listen to you guys weekly. But what was it about that, opportunity, having a podcast, maybe getting your voices out there that you guys were interested in doing that?
I mean, I felt like it was more Bryce's speed. I mean, I feel like he's more of the people person, his personality. But I mean, it was something I definitely had to learn. So, I mean, like Bryce said, I teach him stuff like more on the court or in life. He teaches me stuff behind the mic.
That's awesome. Do you agree with that?
A little bit, yes, ma'am.
But was it an opportunity that you were kind of excited about getting? Why did you want to approach that?
Really, coming in as a freshman, not knowing a lot about the university, the people. So just really being able to build relationships, let people know about me and, interact with each other because, we not seeing the people, behind the cell phones and just being able to hear their voice also, it really motivates us because, it shows that everybody's really bought into,
Super supportive.
It's very supportive. And it, just gives us energy on the court.
That's awesome. One thing I learned before we started rolling is that you guys are both football players, too.
Yeah.
Trey even said you asked about maybe walking on here, wide receiver.
I joked about it because, I mean, when I go back home, they were like, I never thought you would play basketball. We thought you were going to be a football guy because, I mean, that was my main sport. I just played basketball. I mean, just because I played it for fun. But football used to be my sport growing up. But the cold and long practices outside, just it wasn't me as I got older.
So who's a better football player between the two of you?
Well, we played different positions.
He's a quarterback.
I played quarterback. He was the wide receiver and DB, safety, and all that.
Okay. So did you like playing football too, Bryce?
I love playing football.
Yeah?
Yeah, I loved it. But I just got it was like
growth spurt, knees.
Yeah. And I told my dad, whatever I get my first offer in, that's what I'm going to stick with. So
got one in 8th grade.
I got my first basketball offer in 8th grade, so I just stuck with it.
Wow, that's awesome. So you excited about some Nebraska football this year then?
Yeah, we big football fans in the South, and just being able to, being it's max capacity, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
100% capacity.
Yep, just being able to be in, a crowd and a fan base that shows a lot of love. So just being in that atmosphere is going to be amazing.
Because you haven't experienced it either, Trey, have you?
No, I haven't. I mean, the spring game was when I kind of experienced it, but I mean, I didn't really get to go to the spring game. But I was around, I watched it. So I mean, downtown was definitely jumping for sure.
Yeah, I just moved here as well, so I can't wait to check it out as well. I cannot let you guys get out of here without asking about the NBA Finals. What's your take on tonight?
It's at the Bucks.
Yeah.
It's in Milwaukee.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
I had the Suns winning it though.
Yeah, I had Suns in 6.
Okay, so but you're not taking a game 7.
Nah,
Drew Holiday's OD.
And Giannis put the Black Forces out.
All right, so you heard it here. The McGowans are going with the Bucks tonight in Game 6 in Milwaukee. All right, well, Bryce and Trey, we appreciate your time and look forward to getting to know you and hopefully have you back
for
soon.
sure.
And,
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so let's keep it here. Sports Nightly, we got more coming up right after this.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Because Ford trucks and SUVs are built to help you every day, You made Ford America's best-selling brand. And now you can get great offers on the entire Ford lineup. Come see how at your local Ford store, based on 2019 calendar year total sales. There's a Ford built for everyone, whether it's the latest driver assist technologies, room to fit the whole family, or the power you need on the job site. Ford has you covered. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers today to find great deals on the right vehicle for you.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
Nebraska Athletics are hiring event staff for the 2021 home football season. Our #1 requirement, be passionate about Husker football and ready to provide the ultimate fan experience for the greatest fans in college football. As part of the event staff, you serve Husker Nation and check out live game action inside Memorial Stadium. Apply right now and help kick off the Husker football season by working the Garth Brooks concert. For more information and to apply, visit huskers.com/event staff. Go Big Red.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef, raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com. Because Ford trucks and SUVs are built to help you every day, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. And now you can get great offers on the entire Ford lineup. Come see how at your local Ford store, based on 2019 calendar year total sales. There's a Ford built for everyone, whether it's the latest driver assist technologies, room to fit the whole family, or the power you need on the job site. Ford has you covered. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers today to find great deals on the right vehicle for you.
Our Sports Only Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. 402-413-2400. The number if you want to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. What a fun interview. Those are fun to have the two brothers.
Yeah, they were fun. It's funny, they just said the Bucks tonight. They just showed a live shot of, what was it, Deer District?
Deer District.
It is packed. They are ready for a victory tonight.
They're ready to close it out. I was really impressed with Bryce. He is a really mature young kid, isn't he?
Which I guess if you get recruited like that and you've been interviewed that much, but it was funny hearing Trey talk about, hey, I teach him the stuff on the court. He kind of teaches me the stuff off the court because he's the people person. He's the personality. And you could tell, Bryce was smiling the whole time, kind of enjoying being in front of the camera and talking, and Trey's more of the behind-the-scenes type of guy. So they kind of balance each other out in that regard. But so big brother teaches little brother the stuff on the court, and little brother teaches big brother the stuff off the court.
Love it. Husker fans cannot wait to see Bryce play.
But how about Bryce saying that, he told his dad, whichever one I get the first offer in, football or basketball, and he got his first offer in 8th grade. Yeah, it was basketball. So he's like, all right, I'm going basketball.
That way. It's another one of those reminders, too, hearing him and both those guys tell their story. We hear so much, Jessica, about young folks need to pick a sport early and go with it. Well, there's another case of guys who are pretty darn high-level athletes who played multiple sports until at least high school level.
Yeah, Trey played until he was a sophomore, and then, Bryce still played, and, both of them, their whole lives, their dad was a big football guy, broke all kinds of football records and whatnot, and, played both, and I think it is important. I am a firm believer that, you play multiple sports and you learn different things and different sports. How many times do you hear with football guys that play basketball, how that first step, getting around if you're an outside linebacker, that quick first step is a lot of times credited back to what they had to do in basketball. And so you hear that all the time about how certain sports, what they learned in that sport translates to what they do well now in their current sport. But yeah, I'm a big believer. And you hear a lot of those, athletes now that play in the pros about how, playing multiple sports is big in them getting to where they are.
Because the prevailing message in youth sports is you've got to choose. You've got to pick. And yet you hear their story, and like you said, multiple other people are saying, no. Spread yourself around. Do multiple things.
And look at the Major League Baseball draft, how many guys got drafted that played basketball, like basketball stars that could have, had Division I college basketball offers that just got drafted in the Major League Baseball draft. I think we're seeing a lot of these pro teams that are liking that guys play multiple sports.
You use different muscles. You use different parts of your brain in how you play different sports. I think it's the way to go. Got a text in about our opening segment topic about the expansion of the playoffs and Dabo Swinney pushing back some today. On our text line said the top 4 get a bye, which means they're protecting the Bamas and Clemsons of the world because they're likely going to be top 4 teams most years. So Dabo's only going to have to coach 1 extra game. He can hush.
I love that.
But he really isn't going to. If he's in the top 4, he isn't playing any more games than he is now because he's the 4. He's one of those.
Yep.
So, I guess he still would play because it would be 8 still left after the 12. So he can just hush. So there you go.
He can hush.
There you go. Good on that. So if you have some thoughts about the expansion of the playoff, Dabo Swinney, who came out against it today, said he's not for it, his team's not for it. We can get into that topic here on the program. All right, Bucks, Suns, about an hour away. You talked to it with the guys. You want a Game 7. You want to see Game 7.
I do. I am all for Game 7s, and I really want to see, which we talked about this last night, it would be awesome for the Bucks to clinch in Milwaukee. I mean, we just saw that place. I mean, they are ready to party with the win tonight, but let's extend the season as long as possible, even though the players don't want it to keep going. But I want to see a Game 7. I really want to see Chris Paul win a title as well, but I really want a good game is my thing. I want a competitive game, not a blowout, because we saw blowouts, the first 3-4 games, and just make it a close game, make it exciting, and I'll be okay with a Game 6 win for the Bucks if it's a close game.
What do you attribute Chris Paul's drop-off? He played so well in Games 1 and 2, and now he's kind of lost.
I don't know. It's crazy because you don't think that he would be a guy that would maybe succumb to the pressure, but maybe that's it. There's a lot on him, a lot riding on him, but I think he's gotten away of what he did so well, and those all throughout the playoffs. But he needs to have a big game tonight.
Has to.
And so does Devin Booker, which you heard the guys talking about. Yeah. They want to see him, go off and have a big game tonight. I really like Devin Booker as well, but Chris Paul needs to step up today.
I've always loved the Greek Freaks game. Had the monster block the other night, but to me, the X factors.
I'm just fouling him every time.
Middleton's the guy that to me has really bailed them out. He has been phenomenal for the Bucks.
For sure. Garrett Classy, by the way, I think is a big Bucks fan.
Yeah, he's from up there. He's a Wisconsin guy.
For Garrett, we'll cheer for the Bucks.
No, you've been the Suns all. You can't change teams now.
No, I'm not. I'm with the Suns.
Yeah, you can't jump off your bandwagon at this point in time.
I jumped on the Suns bandwagon this year. I'm going to jump off and get back on the Bucks bandwagon now.
Back to our text line. Mark said people talk about the number of games teams will play if the playoff is expanded. Have you guys seen how many games your high school teams play in, like California or Texas? 14, 15, 16 is pretty common, and the season goes well into December, yet nothing is said about that. That's true. I mean, yeah, these high school playoffs can get expanded a little bit. I don't know that the veracity of the game, the physicalness of the game is the same at the high school level as it is at the FBS level, but that's true. And, those are amateur athletes not getting, they're not getting paid and compensated, not big multi-contracts for that as either. So, good point. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate the text. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. We're back to wrap up Hour 1 next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska is one of the best schools in America for student Fulbright scholars. 2021 marks the 4th time that the university has been named a top producing institution by the Fulbright program. Of the 30 Huskers who applied this past year, 10 were offered the prestigious Fulbright. An additional 16 Huskers were named semifinalists.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard, and thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
Did you ever buy something and get more? More than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. But we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it. The confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
Stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Huskers on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and more. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding Nebraska athletics, including game times, results, ticket promotions, prize giveaways, and more. Log on to also follow several sport-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Join today and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world. Visit huskers.com/social media to see all of our accounts.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. If you want to get a hold of us, 402-413-2400, either with a call or a text. Steve in Bellevue on our text line said you guys were talking about athletes who play multiple sports. Eric Strickland, this is a perfect example. He was so good at football, basketball, baseball in high school up in the Omaha area, played hoops at Nebraska, played in the NBA for quite a while, and he could play all three sports. It was great. I mean, it's a good example of a guy. I think there's probably more like that, Jessica, than the ones that just specialize on something else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just all the things you take away and learning how to compete with different teams and different scenarios and situations you take away, and you get so locked in on this one, then it's all the pressure of you have to succeed at this one sport. So
our YouTube chat room's got some traffic, right?
Yeah. So if you are just listening and you haven't heard, we're streaming live every night on YouTube, and we've got some people that are in the chat room talking about the expansion of the college football playoff, and had a couple people talking about I think Jinx1176, he said, I just don't want to see 4 SEC teams in the playoff if they go to 12 teams, which is totally what's going to happen, right? They're going to get 4 SEC teams in there. And Ken said the only reason the SEC is on board with 12 teams is so they can get 4 teams in. They know the selection committee will always be biased towards them.
That's correct, too.
Yeah.
That's right. And there'll be the ones that fight against having home field games for the first round, unless they're in the South. If they're in the South, we're okay with it, but don't make us go to Lincoln or Columbus or Ann Arbor or one of those spots up north. We do not want to go do that. But those are all very legit. Yeah, it's, it's coming, though. It's kind of like when we knew NIL was coming. We know the playoff expansion's coming. It's not, this thing is pushing down the track. It's going to change in the next couple of years. And so I was adamantly opposed to it a few years ago. I've evolved, Jessica. I'm okay. I'm not sure I'm ready to go to 12.
Yeah.
8 probably I could go
Like
with.
you said, it's too big of a jump. Let's see how, might we eventually end up at 12 or 16? Maybe, but why are we completely skipping 8 altogether? Let's try 8 for a couple of years, and we tried 4. You know, we want to change that now. It's been pretty successful. Let's try 8 now and then go to 12. I'm like, why are we going right to 12?
Because your YouTube chat room is right.
So the SEC can get more teams.
Because if it goes to 8, it's going to be the 5 conference champs and then 3 at-larges. And Notre Dame would factor into that a lot of years. And then, you know, there would be pressure to get a non-group of 5 or group of 5 team like a BYU or a Central Florida or a Cincinnati. There would be pressure to get one of them in there, and that would only leave one more spot for an SEC. And they're going, okay, let's go to 12 and get it. We'll just pull them all in with us. It's exactly what the thought process is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Also, a couple more people on the text line talking about multi-sport stars. Patrick Mahomes, absolutely. He was drafted by MLB, and so was Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray was drafted really high in the first round by the A's in baseball.
Top 10.
Yep, top 10, and then opted to go football and has done great out in Arizona with that franchise. So there's more examples of that, and I just, you know, I hope people think about that. If you have a youngster and they're really talented, get them into multiple things. I think in the long run they will be better off for doing that than just having them specialize with one sport. But the problem is they hear it from youth coaches going, if you're an elite soccer player or volleyball player, that you've got to just lock into that. But I even think John Cook would be in agreement with us too, Jessica, about I think he likes people that play multiple sports. They play basketball and then they play volleyball as well.
Absolutely. And I was actually at Oklahoma when Kyler Murray got drafted and then, you know, decided to come back and play football. And that helped him in his negotiations. Hey, you know, you got another bargaining chip, you know, and it helped him get more money in both regards. Hey, I've got this, you know, low-hanging fruit. I've got a, you know, huge contract on the table to go play baseball. And, you know, teams knew that they had to go big with him because he was going to get an opportunity at both sports. So, you know, it helped him in his bargaining tool and his bargaining negotiations of which way to go as well. So, and he credits playing both got him to where he is in both. You know, he wouldn't have been the football player he was without baseball and vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Cardinals are going to be good for years to come. On our text line, somebody want to know if we have an update on basketball season tickets. We have not heard anything from the ticket office. I think that process is it's underway. I don't know how deep into it they are. I think there's a deadline coming up at the end of the month for returns. So we may have more information on that.
When do you think the full schedule comes out?
The conference schedule will probably not come out until close to Labor Day. We know that on-con, which is good, but we won't probably get the conference schedule until
I do think that some information went out to season ticket holders about non-conference and season tickets, but as
you know how many league games you're going to have at home.
Right.
You just don't know the dates.
Right.
Yeah.
So that information should be coming out soon.
Coming soon. Husker football, it's been yesterday and today were voluntary workouts, and so a lot of the team has, I just saw we have a call from Ron. Is that Ron? Russ. Hey, Russ, I'm sorry I'm going to have to take you in. I don't have enough time to be fair to you. Hang with us. We'll get you right on the other side. But yesterday and today were voluntary workouts. There were a handful of players still around. But then the rest of the week, they are off. They're off early next week before they come back. Fan Day is Thursday, the 29th. There was additional information that went out today. I promised you all last night that it was coming, so now you have the maps. You can set your strategy for where you're going to go and get your guys. You can plot your night. Coming up on the 29th from 5:30 to 7:30.
And where to park and all that information.
All that thing. If you didn't see it, Huskers.com has all that information for you, so go find that there. Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. It's very, very important if you're coming to Fan Day to get your strategy in there. Make sure you know what you're going to do, what tables you want to go hit, and maybe try to project a future star, right?
Yes.
You brought that up last night.
You never know.
Somebody that in 2 years may be a real star.
Yes. I mean, that line might be shorter, but you never know whose autograph you might be getting on this deal that, you know, could be a Heisman Trophy favorite one day.
There you go. 1 hour in the books. Great to hear from the McGowans. We're going to hear from Rob Childress, the newest addition to Will Bolt's baseball staff. That's coming up next hour. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Mark your calendars. Nebraska Football Fan Day is back, and we can't wait to welcome you to Memorial Stadium. Fans can meet the 2021 Husker football team next Thursday, July 29th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Football Fan Day is the best opportunity for fans to meet and greet Husker players, coaches, and staff as they gear up for the start of another exciting season. For full event details, including health and safety guidelines, entrances, parking, and autograph policies, visit huskers.com/football.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe, and here is tonight's sports ticker. Nebraska Athletics announced today the members of the 2021 Nebraska Football Hall of Fame class. It's comprised of members of the 1971 National Championship squad, including defensive end John Atkins, center Doug Dumler, defensive tackle Bill Jansen, tight end Jerry List, monster back Dave Mason, and offensive guard Keith Workman. The class will be inducted on September the 10th, along with the 2020 class that did not get enshrined last year because of the pandemic. They'll all then be honored during the Buffalo game on the 11th. Current Husker third baseman Max Anderson has been named an All-Star in the Cape Cod League. The Big Ten's Freshman of the Year is currently hitting .311, has a home run, 7 RBIs for the Bourne Braves. Nebraska Athletics has hired Dr. Lawrence Chatters as the new Senior Associate Athletic Director for Diversity. Chatters has been at Midland University, but prior to that, had spent time at UNL. Game 6 tonight, NBA Finals. The Bucks host the Suns. Milwaukee can close things out with a victory as they are up 3-2. Checking the Major League Baseball scoreboard, couple of afternoon finals. Oakland beat the Angels 6-0. The Royals down the Brewers in Milwaukee 5-2. The Nationals lead the Marlins 1-0 in the fourth. Phillies and Yankees knotted at 1 in the third inning. Same score, Mets and Reds in the third. Tampa leads Baltimore 2-1. They're in the middle of the third inning. Also in the third, the Braves on top of the Padres 1-0, just getting underway. Houston hosting Cleveland. The Twins on the south side to take on the White Sox. The Cubs in St. Louis to battle the Cardinals. Rain delay in Detroit with the Rangers and the Tigers, hoping to get baseball in tonight. Later tonight, the Mariners in Denver to take on the Rockies. Pittsburgh at Arizona. The Giants will tango with the Dodgers. Red Sox Blue Jays postponed in Buffalo earlier today because of wet weather. Those are tonight's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network, bringing you the best Husker sports experience.
Kubik sends it past me. Gonzalez. It's over the net. Shut back by Stivrins. It's in. They did it. Match point, Big Red. 15-10 in the fifth. Fighting back from the abyss, down 2 sets love. Nebraska claims opening night against Ohio State. 15-10 set 5. My goodness.
Lauren Stivrins is a great leader, and Lauren was talking to those guys through when we were struggling, and she got them to change their mindset. And then I think Lexi led the way, and Nicklin, and so those are the guys that got to do that. Then it was fun to watch. We played Husker volleyball.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. We're back, hour number 2, Tuesday night show. Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Here are the numbers if you want to be a part of this one. 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. Going to hear from Rob Childers, the newest addition to Will Bolt's baseball staff, the former Texas A&M head coach, former Husker assistant coach, going to join us a little bit later on. Looking forward to hearing that. Let's start the hour with a phone call. Let's go to David City. Russ has been hanging on to the break. Good evening, Russ. How are you?
I'm doing well, you guys. Thanks for taking my call. I'm all in Huskers 24/7 every day, all day. So
love that.
The comment I have is that I'm just frustrated because these kids are in the best shape of their lives. They're in the best time of their lives. They've got the best of everything. They've got all the best training. They get all the best food. They get all everything else that goes with it. And everybody's worried about 18, 19, 21, 22-year-old kids that are playing a game at the prime of their life. They've got the rest of their life to rest. So if the criteria calls for playing so many games to win a championship or have a chance, you adjust, and that's what you do. You don't whine and cry because, I got to play another game. I would give anything to go back. I'm 53 years old. I'd go back, have anything to go back and be able to play sports in my prime at their level. It's just everybody's coddled nowadays, the pro athletes. Oh, I can't play tonight. I need to collect my $1 million, but I have a hangnail. I can't play. It's a bunch of BS, and whatever the criteria calls for, you adjust, and that's how you adjust in life. And you play the sport, and you play whatever games they require you to play.
All right, Russ, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I said that earlier. I think a lot of these athletes, if it's a chance to play for a national title, they don't care if it's an extra game, 2 extra games, whatever it might be. I think if they've got a chance, because look, at the heart of all of it, they're competitors. It's why you play this game. If you weren't competitive, if you didn't care about winning, you wouldn't play. So I think ultimately these kids come to play college sports to win national titles. Look at all the kids that could go to the NBA or the NFL and make millions, but decide to come back to have a shot at winning national titles. So I think if these are teams, if these are kids that have a shot to win a national title, I think they'll do anything they can to play, even if that means playing a couple extra games or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I think Russ echoes what a lot of people would say about that topic. But it's easy to say that when you don't maybe have millions at stake. And we're not talking about a large group of guys, maybe a handful of players. Trevor Lawrence last year certainly would have come to mind in that. The prime player pretty much on any team would come to mind. And there was I think it was a tight end from Notre Dame or Michigan or somebody who played a bowl game, blew out his knee, didn't get drafted. It cost him millions that he played that extra bowl game. That happens. That's the risk you take, I think, playing this sport. But I think more people would side with what Russ is saying.
Yeah, and I think, too, another side of that, a lot of what these athletes will say is that the game has changed. Like you mentioned, it's a little bit more physical than maybe what it has been in the past. Maybe, even with basketball games, it's a little bit harder on the body than it has been. But, I mean, I don't know what the numbers of games that were played, say, in Michael Jordan's days, what that season looked like compared to now.
Right.
What the college games, what a season looked like then compared to now. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely changed, and the athletes, how they used to not have a voice about it either,
True.
Which we've seen kind of change the trajectory of this as well. They used to, have to just play and deal with it and do what they're told, and now they have more voices, so they're more, we've seen it with the NBA this year, how many guys are speaking up about, their displeasure of the season and having to turn around and play it so quickly.
Yep, no doubt. I mean, there are a lot of people that think that this should be an asterisk, whoever wins this series between the Bucks and the Suns.
I do not agree with that at all.
No, I'm not in that camp at all. Speaking of things have changed, athletes have more impact. We've talked so much in the last month plus about NIL. Today, Nick Saban, Alabama's coach, was in Texas speaking at the Texas High School Coaches Association convention. He raised eyebrows when he was asked about NIL, and within his answer, he revealed that Crimson Tide quarterback Bryce Young, who I could not have – I woke up this morning, I could not have told you who Alabama's starting quarterback is.
He hasn't even been named the starting quarterback yet.
You're exactly right. He's been on the team for a year, but he did not – he played just a handful of snaps a year ago. But Bryce Young is doing pretty well for himself, according to Nick Saban. He says, our quarterback has already approached ungodly numbers, and he hasn't even played. If I told you what it is, it's almost 7 figures. He says, does that seem right for a guy that hasn't really taken a snap at Alabama yet? I think that's a little high. I don't know that Bryce Young is quite to that level. Maybe he is. Maybe the big spenders in the state of Alabama are already plopping their money behind this young man. But there you go with Nick Saban, who carries a big voice in college football.
So I tried to look up who Bryce has signed with. The only thing that he's announced about a deal, signing a deal with, is with Cash App.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that he's come out about. And, on Twitter, he's got 17.7 thousand followers, so not crazy on Twitter. And on Instagram, 83,000 followers, and he's only made 3 posts on Instagram. A lot of this still is the interactions that you get as well.
Right.
But he wasn't even on Twitter until NIL came. He's like, all right, I'm back, and then announced, hey, I've got this deal with Cash App. And he signed with somebody as well to represent him. But unless he's just signed deals and hasn't come out with the announcements yet, is Cash App paying him $1 million?
No, not at all.
So I don't know.
Could it have been, let me just float this out there, that Nick Saban's in front of a bunch of high school coaches from the state of Texas.
Absolutely.
That Nick wanted to drop that seed that, boy, you come to Alabama, we're going to take care of you.
Yes.
Could that, I mean, I'm throwing darts here.
I would also be interested to see how Nick Saban has been involved with all the NIL talks and how open he's been to it from the start. I mean, you kind of have to be now, and I mean, obviously, as people have said from the start, the Alabamas of the world are going to be the ones that really benefit. The rich get richer on NIL, but I'd be interested to see how, I guess, up with everything that he is with NIL talks and has been from the start. But I'm with you. It's probably, I don't know if it's $1 million yet, but some of the guys that have been making a lot of money, boy, they've been out there, putting it out there. They've been doing a bunch of things. Like for Spencer Rattler, for example, I noticed somebody had written an article about the top quarterbacks in college football that would make the most money. And Spencer Rattler was number one, but he's also been putting a lot of stuff out there with Canes, and he's posting on his stories and Twitter and all. You've seen a lot from him. He's
playing the game.
But you haven't seen anything from Bryce other than just that Cash App announcement. So, again, I don't know if maybe there's things in the works that haven't come out yet, but a lot of the guys that are making a lot of money have been out there and vocal about their deals and have been putting their sponsors, hey, I'm excited to sign a deal with this person, and hey, thanks to Canes for keeping me fed at this deal at the camp. I don't know, stuff like that.
Shot in the dark. I just think that was a calculated answer by Nick Saban today in front of a captive audience. Let's talk Olympics a little bit. I said last night on the show, I'm getting nervous about this. We're getting athletes that are being sent home because they've tested positive. You even had the games organizers say, either within the last 24 hours, that, hey, there's still a chance this thing doesn't make it. I'm nervous. Our head count's getting close to, about 100 athletes now?
I saw like 71 that have ties to the Olympics and 3 that have been inside the Olympic Village. So saw news today that the USA Gymnastics team have pulled out of the Olympic Village. I imagine you're going to see a lot of those teams do that as well. But in the meantime, we are still moving forward, and we got Team USA softball playing tonight.
It's like at midnight or something? Is that what it is?
It's 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. Eastern, so that's 8. Is that what time is that?
10:30. We're an hour behind them, so 11:30 Eastern.
It says 11 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, so 10 here. So that's not that late. Well, who's got it? Do you know? Is it on like CNBC or let me look here?
Well, and Maddie Fowler Burkhart just tweeted, "We get to watch Olympics softball tonight. Been waiting 13 years for this." You know, it is. That's
right.
Such a great day that softball is back in the Olympics. I'm a big fan of softball, and we had Rhonda Revelle on the show a couple weeks ago. How big this is for the sport! It's the pinnacle. I mean, you want to be an Olympic athlete when you're a young softball player. That's where you want to be. You want to be playing on the Olympic stage, and so to have it back. And they're playing tonight. That's so exciting.
Italy at 10 o'clock tonight. There's a game just underway now. It's Australia and Japan.
Yeah, Japan. That's a big matchup.
That is a big matchup.
I do think it's single elimination, so there's a lot on the line in these games.
Absolutely. So. And so even though the opening ceremonies aren't until Friday, this is the first event of the summer games, of the softball games, starting today over in Tokyo or around Tokyo is where those are, and I'll try to find where that is. I think it's on CNBC or MSNBC or
NBC
something like
Universal is what
it is. Okay, so the NBC.
It says NBC Sports.
Their sports channel, maybe? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm assuming not NBC, but if you have the NBC Sports channel.
402-413-2400, the number if you want to dot us up with a comment or question on our text line. Football players and universities enter into an agreement with an athletic scholarship being awarded. In my mind, the player has made a commitment to play every game scheduled during his or her scholarship year. Opting out of a game unless you are injured is a player's breach of that agreement. Well, that's one way to look at it. I mean, I get that, and I think there's particularly if you've got a great work ethic and you go to work every day like a lot of people do, you don't quite understand why an athlete would just say I'm going to push back and not play a game. So that's one way to look at it. Let's head to the phones. Let's go to Pete. Pete, you're up next on Sports Highlight.
How you doing?
Good.
Hey, Pete.
It's been a while since I've called in.
Where you been?
Working. Say, I got a question for you. I want your perspective. On this name, image, and likeness, does that carry down into the high school level? What is preventing a high school kid from doing the same thing? And where's the end of it? Is that going to be really good for our youth in the long term?
It's a great question, and I don't know the answer. Maybe Jessica, maybe you do. I don't know if it trickles into the high school level or not. I just don't know.
I do think there are definitely some laws that are in place. I don't know exactly specifically what that is, but because you do get into the whole recruiting aspect of it where you can't have donors and boosters, trying to get kids to come, to their schools that they support. There is some legislation in that. I don't know specifically the verbiage of that and how that applies. But, yeah, I don't know how that eventually, how do you prevent, if it's a legal thing and the Supreme Court has ruled that you can't prevent them. But I don't know if high school is still on a different level because they're not getting paid. It's because it's part of the amateur and you're part of a high school competition. Maybe that's different. But, yeah, I don't know if maybe – I don't know, to be honest. And I think it's still something that's a work in progress as well. I don't think they know from a NCAA standpoint what that looks like right now.
Pete, good to hear from you. I was thinking about you the other day. We've not heard from you in months, so good to hear your voice again. And shame on me because we've had that question a couple of times in the last few weeks. I will make some calls tomorrow to get kind of a clarification on how this could and might affect high school athletes. I'll try to get you an answer here in the next couple of days. Appreciate you bringing that up. So softball coming up tonight. I'm told it is on the NBC Sports Channel. Not big NBC, but the NBC Sports Channel. You find a lot of NASCAR. Hockey was all over that. The NHL was all over that. So that's where you can find softball going on tonight with the U.S. Team USA playing Italy, 10 o'clock. There is a game just underway now with Australia and Japan. 402-413-2400. Callers into our show. Dial us up on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. We're back to talk to Rob Childress, who's the newest member of the baseball staff for Will Bolt. We'll get into that conversation next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Go where the summer leads you during the Season of Discovery sales event at Woodhouse Mazda. With a full lineup of CUVs, we are sure to have one for you. From the 2021 Mazda CX-30 to the family-friendly Mazda CX-9, our sales staff is here to help find the perfect model for you. With a suite of features, you can expect more with Mazda at a price that is good for you. Test drive one today at one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations in Bellevue or Omaha, or shop online today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is caught in the jagged jaws of ransomware attacks and phishing scams.
Help!
Wait! It's Marco's Network Security Solutions to the rescue with life-saving ways to detect hungry cybervillains and stop them cold in their tracks. With Marco's Network Security Solutions, our IT hero lives to surf another day. For more successful network security adventures, go to marconet.com.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with a free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
There's no better way to support your Huskers than becoming a season ticket holder. And a limited number of Nebraska football season tickets are on sale now. Secure your seat in Memorial Stadium for head coach Scott Frost's fourth season at the helm as the Huskers play host to Buffalo, Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, and more. Now is your chance to become part of the storied tradition that is Husker football. To purchase season tickets, call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Because Ford trucks and SUVs are built to help you every day, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. And now you can get great offers on the entire Ford lineup. Come see how at your local Ford store, based on 2019 calendar year total sales. There's a Ford built for everyone, whether it's the latest driver assist technologies, room to fit the whole family, or the power you need on the job site. Ford has you covered. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers today to find great deals on the right vehicle for you.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Welcome back. It's Sports Island here on a Tuesday night. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you, and delighted to welcome into the studio the newest member of the Husker baseball staff, a familiar name to Nebraska fans, Rob Childress, who for the last 16 years has been the head baseball coach at Texas A&M. But before that, he was a Nebraska assistant from 1998 to 2005. Coach, great to have you back in Lincoln. Congratulations. It is so good to see you and get you back in Lincoln.
A lot of great relationships, too, that have continued to grow over the last 16 years, and it's just we're thankful to be back close to them again and looking forward to doing everything that we can to help Husker baseball.
Why come back? I mean, I'm sure you had other options and other things to do. Your ties in Texas have run fairly deep.
Well, for me, the most important thing at this point is family, and staying in the Midwest corridor from here to Texas was very important to me, and this by far and away was the best opportunity for me that I felt like I could influence and help young people and do everything I can to be a part of a very, very good coaching staff.
How odd is it to walk in there and see Will Bolt, Jeff Christie, and Lance Harville, guys you know so well?
Well, first and foremost, I'm so proud of the job that they've done in such a short period of time, but proud to be back on their team and with them again and do whatever I can to pour in and help those guys in every facet available under the title that I have. And if I can help them in some shape, form, or fashion, then it's certainly a win for everyone.
You know them so well. Surprised at all with what they did this past year?
Not even a little bit. You could see that team's identity it's their identity, who they are as people and who they were as players. When you're talking about Will and Jeff and Lance and Danny as well, those guys all were overachieving, chip on your shoulder type guys, and you could see that in this past year's team. They played incredibly hard, they played together, and they played with a chip on their shoulder, and it was fun to watch.
Getting busy with Rob Childress, the newest addition to the Husker baseball staff. Let's go down memory road a little bit. You arrived in '98 with Dave, head coach, you and Mike Anderson, the assistant coaches, and then the spark happened. How, as you look back at and think about that, how amazing was that, the run that you guys put together here?
We always talk about the harder you work, the luckier you get. And for us, that first year of recruiting, we brought in 25 new players. And I will never forget getting in an argument with Dave over a 5'8" right-handed pitcher that weighed 135 pounds from Honolulu, Nebraska. And he said he was going to take him. I said, I don't know that we're going to make it through a first season in the Big 12 with a 5'8", 130-pound Hawaiian. They're going to laugh us out of the league. And Shane Komani gets to campus, and the first day that I see him long toss, I told Dave, I said, I am so happy I talked you into taking that guy. He's going to be pretty good. And, certainly he was the anchor of that staff. I mean, he won over 40 games, struck out over 500, and I think at the time was only one of 6 pitchers in college baseball history to ever do that. But so many other great players that were part of that group. Will Bolt, Adam Stern, John Cole. I mean, the list goes on and on. Brant Fleeger, Justin Cowan, all those guys were so impactful. R.D. Spees from Grand Island was a part of that group. And just, we just hit the lottery on a lot of recruits, and those guys came in and transformed this thing in a short period of time.
So many of that group, and then the ones that followed, have gotten to your profession. Surprised by that?
No, I think when you're talking about the lottery and recruiting, it's not just recruiting talent. It's about recruiting makeup and guys that eat and sleep and breathe baseball. And you could tell that group that's what they were all about. And it's neat to see those guys off impacting young people's lives as coaches in the college ranks.
Player development. Give us kind of what's that going to entail? What's that going to look like?
You know, it's a role that's been created a lot around the country, and it's an opportunity to serve the program, whether it's video, analytics, data, scouting reports, on-campus recruiting, all the things go between academic, strength, nutrition, all those things to help kind of lighten the load for our coaches.
I want to just talk to you about the state of the game right now. Over the last 4 or 5 years, 5 years ago, we would call a weekend series. And Rob, we might see one, maybe two guys might touch 95 off the mound. Now we're seeing multiple guys. What has happened, and the velocity we're seeing now in college pitching?
I think you're seeing more and more professional-ready kids go to college. This past week's draft went 20 rounds. Over 80% of the draft was kids that were in college. I think that speaks to the development of the college game and professional baseball, saying we can let these kids go to college. They're going to be that much closer to the major leagues when they come out of a program like the University of Nebraska and ready to go ascend to the big leagues in a short period of time, number one. But number two, a lot of velocity training, a lot of specialized training year-round. Kids are physically training at an earlier stage in their lives, and they're just physically bigger and stronger than maybe they were 10 years ago. I look back in recruiting 15 years ago, if someone called and said, hey, this kid's touching 90, I would put the phone down and I would get in my car and go. Well, today, everybody throws 90. 95 is the new 90, like you said.
It's just remarkable. We saw, I know you saw it in the SEC. We saw it a lot in the Big Ten, and it was remarkable. It's the biggest transformation I've seen in the sport in the last 5-6 years. How about, we're hearing terms now like launch angles and those type of things from the batter standpoint. Just give me kind of your overall philosophy, where the game is offensively right now. Where's it headed?
Well, I think it is headed in a positive direction in every facet, and I think all of the analytics and the data piece points are so important for learning, and learning maybe at a faster curve than trying to get somebody to feel something in their swing. You can show them immediately with feedback at real time after one swing in a cage now, where maybe it would take 2 weeks for a kid to really feel a change. You can show him right there immediate feedback, and so I think the learning curve is shortened a little bit with all the advancement of the analytical part of this game that we're in now.
Old school guys fight that a little bit, right? I mean, you kind of go, oh, I like to see what my eyes tell me more than I want to see what data says.
I agree with that 100%, but I think also all of this helps validate your eyes, and I think that gets more buy-in to the player that you're trying to coach, because at the end of the day, or the kid, you're wanting him to be his very best so he can help the team win, and the team can be at their very best. And if you can slow that or speed that learning curve up, that's better for everybody. That's a win for the kid and a program.
Visiting with Rob Childress, the new player development director for Husker baseball here on Sports Nightly. You kind of have had a family tie here to Lincoln for a while, right? Your daughter was a student here at one time.
Absolutely. Probably her sophomore year in high school, we came up for a World Series team reunion. They had a red letter day. I said, hey, just go through it. We got nothing going on today. I know you won't come to school here, but see everything you can see. Well, she fell in love with it, decided to come 12 hours away from home to find out who she's supposed to become and, to experience college. She had a wonderful experience here, graduated in 4 years, and is now wrapping up a master's at Doane University here. So, very thankful that I get to be with her and close to her and my granddaughter as well, and Parker's, who turns a year old this weekend.
If memory serves, you like to hunt. Is that right?
Absolutely, and love to chase the birds around, and so usually when the snow starts to fly, things get a little bit fun from border to border here in the state. I enjoy that. That's my passion.
I was going to say, once you guys wrap up fall ball, there'll be some time for you to probably slip out and go do some of that.
Yep, that's the only time to have a hobby as a baseball person is usually November, December, and January.
Nebraska obviously made the transition more than a decade ago to the Big Ten Conference. Give me your thoughts of what you've kind of experienced the few Big Ten teams maybe you've come across in the last decade. Your thoughts about the league?
Well, they're big, strong, physical from an offensive standpoint, and there's some powerful pitching in this league. And it's proven that teams in the Big Ten can get to Omaha and do that on a consistent basis. Haymarket Park is a beautiful facility. It's proven that they can host at a high level with great crowd in a sea of red and get through a regional at home and win a super regional and get to Omaha. And that's everyone's goal when the season starts. But there's been several teams in the Big Ten that have continued to make the transition forward, with Michigan having a great year, Ohio State, Indiana. All those teams are perennial powers. Iowa's been very good with Rick Heller at the helm, and Maryland's got a young coach over there that's got them going. So it's a very, very good league, top to bottom, baseball-wise.
Yeah, it's kind of been our feeling that it's really improved a lot since Nebraska joined the league. There's more resources being poured into the league, and it's become more important. And that, I think, is now translating itself to the field. You talked about hosting regionals and super regionals. When you arrived in 1998, that was a pipe dream to be able to do that. And again, I'm amazed at what you were a part of to bring that to it. And this fan base is ready to get back to that. And what they saw in Fayetteville, I think, gave them validation that we're not that far off.
I believe that with all my heart, and you could see that, and the fans could see that with the way that team played, and how those kids were prepared and prepared in the right way with Coach Bolt and his staff have done a very good job, and have them believing exactly what our goals are and that it can happen.
Can't wait to doing some deep dives with you down the road on pitching and that type of thing. I want to get your thoughts about the pitch clock, because I know that's been a part of the thing in the SEC for a couple of years now. Are you a fan of it? Does it need to be implemented across the sport? What do you think?
I do think it needs to be implemented for the pace of play, but it doesn't need to be implemented. It's not a big deal for most teams that do want to play fast. And I know Coach Christie and Coach Bolt, they want to play fast and want to set the tempo on the mound. That's not an issue, but it may be on maybe one coast or the other where they want to grind the game a little bit. But I think it's important that we keep the game moving along, especially with so many games now being televised. We're already drawing games out long enough with advertising minutes, and so any way we can move it up and keep the pace going for the fans to keep everyone engaged, I think is good for the game.
Has the SEC I should know this, but has the SEC utilized replay?
They have full replay,
yeah.
and I think it's really good. Every game, every game in the standings can be the difference between hosting or going on the road, and hopefully we'll see that from coast to coast or league to league, especially with all the games that are being televised. So all the everything that's needed is already in-house to be able to have replay.
Yeah, hopefully the Big Ten can get to that point. All right, what's the next 30 to 45 days look like for you? I don't know how many of the guys are here, or will you be jumping in right away? What's the plan?
Well, there's quite a few guys that are here working out, pitchers that maybe carry to have a load throughout the spring, get an opportunity to meet them, and then the newcomers are here doing summer bridge and working out with our strength coach, and so getting to know them. There's one of me, and there's 40 of them on the roster, and trying to get around and get to know them and know what makes them tick, and them get to know me a little bit, and just spending time with the players when they're around and in and out of the building, and getting things going. I know we have a camp here at the end of the summer before school starts, and just very happy to be here and be with the staff.
We just came through probably the scariest week for a college baseball coach, and that was the draft. And the Huskers did not lose any of their high school players to draft. I think some of them are already on campus. You maybe have already met a couple of those guys. That's got to be a good feeling to kind of survive that week and move on.
Yeah, I think coaches in general, no matter what sport, think they have to have total control over everything. Well, this is the one thing you have no control over, and you really don't know what's going to happen until you get into the draft, and it happens, and it goes fast, and deals are made before names are called, and you hope you get everybody, but I think it just goes back to all the hard work that Lance Harvell and Jeff Christie have done in recruiting and creating those relationships and developing those relationships long after the ink had dried on the letter of intent, that those guys were not just committed to going to school, but they were committed to these coaches in this program. And I think it just speaks volumes about those two and how hard they've worked on the recruiting trail.
Pretty impressive. Husker Nation is fired up about the team. They're fired up to have you back in the fold. It's great to have you with us. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Rob Childress with us here on Sports On A, and no doubt Husker Nation fired up to see a guy who was very, very popular when he was here the first time. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Jessica will rejoin me next.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact. Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. A new grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture is supporting Husker research in the study of multi-robot systems in ag settings. The almost $500,000 grant was awarded through the USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture to Professor Santosh Pitla. Pitla and his team will use the funds to further their research in the use of unmanned ground vehicles and drones on the farm.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS. Husker fans, looking for a seat in Memorial Stadium? Custom 3-game mini plans are available now for only $195. Choose any combination of the 6 games available. Matchups available in the 3-game plan include the home opener versus Fordham, Buffalo, Northwestern, Michigan, Purdue, and Iowa. Don't miss this opportunity to join the greatest bands in college sports and help fill Memorial Stadium. To build your mini plan, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Because Ford trucks and SUVs are built to help you every day, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. And now you can get great offers on the entire Ford lineup. Come see how at your local Ford store, based on 2019 calendar year total sales. There's a Ford built for everyone, whether it's the latest driver assist technologies, room to fit the whole family, or the power you need on the job site. Ford has you covered. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers today to find great deals on the right vehicle for you.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Back to adventures in technology. Look away! A runaway train of IT problems is bearing down on our brave IT hero. But wait! It's Marco's Technology Assessment to the rescue with life-saving IT strategies. Our hero's technology issues are derailed. A tip of the hat to Marco. And our hero rides into the virtual sunset of our WebEx background. For more successful IT adventures, go to marconet.com.
Our Sports Island Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you on a Tuesday night. If you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. Pete had called earlier in the hour, wanted to know if NIL, Jessica, has trickled to the high school level. You've been doing some research. What did you find?
Yeah, this is from the National Federation of High School website, directly from their member institution, the governing body over all the state high school sports. And it says that current high school student athletes cannot earn money as a result of their connection to their high school team. And then it goes on to say that basically our member state associations have rules in place that prohibit student athletes from receiving money in any form that is connected to wearing their school uniform. So, and it goes on talking about how with colleges, you have scholarships, you have access to a lot of different. You think about nutrition, training table, all this. I guess the benefits that come along with playing college is not afforded to a lot of high schools, so it's still very much at an amateur level, and there's way more high school athletes that are not going to have a capability of benefiting about being an athlete. They're representing their high school, and that will be it for this. The vast majority, what would you say, probably 85% of high school students, that's it for them?
Probably.
And then, it's a different kind of playing field where when you get to college, almost everybody that plays collegiately could have an opportunity to benefit off their name, image, and likeness.
Right. So there you go, Pete. Hopefully that helped you out. And again, I apologize.
Yeah.
We'd had some other people that had inquired about that. Hopefully
So not allowed.
Nope.
And doesn't seem like it's going to be anywhere in the near future something that is going to be experimented with.
It's a fair point that it's true amateurism there, where at college they are coming on scholarship in a lot of cases, and there are those extra benefits that have that. We're in the midst of Media Day season. The Big 12 was last week. The SEC is going on currently. The Big 10 starts Thursday in Indianapolis. The SWAC, which is a lower level, it's an FCS level division for football. Deion Sanders is the head coach at Jackson State. So they were having their Media Day today. One of the reporters shouted out, "Hey, Deion," and went on and asked a question. Deion cut him off and said, "If you call out Nick," meaning Nick Saban, "Nick will cuss you out on the spot, so don't do that to me." And he walked off. How about that?
Crazy. And there's a lot of media members that said that, hey, we call Nick all the time.
All the time.
So I don't think he was right in that.
Maybe Deion just didn't want to be there. I don't know. Maybe he felt like he'd answered enough questions, and this is my chance to get out of here.
Yeah, let's just drop the mic and bolt on out of here.
I'm going to walk right on out of here. Hey, we got Olympic softball on. We found it.
So and already had a controversial play at the plate.
Yeah.
It's behind me, so I'm having to turn around and watch. But
put it up on that
I need
TV over there for
I need
you.
to watch it, but our big screen is behind me. But so everybody's going to play everybody. And
there's
then
only six, right?
6 teams, and the top 2 teams will play for the gold medal, and then 3rd and 4th will play for bronze. And if there's tiebreaker, it's by runs and whatnot. But, so everybody will play everybody, and they'll seed it after that.
Okay, very good. So they are underway, even though the games don't have their opening ceremony until Friday. The softball is underway. You've got Australia, Japan playing right now. 10 o'clock tonight on the NBC Sports Channel. Team USA will play. So if you want to go out and watch some of that, maybe flipping around the NBA, which starts here in a few minutes with Game 6.
Does this big TV split? We have the NBA on one side and softball on the other?
Thankfully, we're done before tip-off, so we can get somewhere else and watch the NBA game get cranked up. Busy day on campus. You had a big media gathering for Husker basketball. They had a handful of the players to actually be in person with a media session with the media today. First time in, about 16 months that the media has actually had face-to-face meetings with the Husker basketball players. Jessica earlier in the program talked to the McGowans. Bryce had a chance to talk to, for the first time, Bryce, and really enjoyed him. He is a really mature young freshman. You can see why people are excited about him. We had Rob Childers' first official day on campus. We talked to him just minutes ago. He had a little media gathering today. So a lot of fun things happening. And Husker football will be flying off to Indy Thursday morning for media days. They are day number 1 of the 2-day event.
What do you think is going to be the number 1 question that Coach Frost is going to have to answer over and over again?
That's interesting. Whether, I think it could be about quarterback depth. I think it could be about maybe he'll get some vaccination questions, because that seems to be the buzz both at the Big 12 and the SEC early on. How many guys have I have no idea. It's not been announced at all here what kind of vaccination questions. I think they'll just be questions about how big a year is it for year 4 for you? Where do you need to go with this thing?
There always seems to be, when you start making your rounds, because there's different stations at these media days, that it's like the same question over and over and over everywhere you go.
It does it's a long, long day.
It is a long day.
Austin Allen, saw him today. He was excited about being able to go. He will go along with Ben Stilley and Deontay Williams will be the 3 Huskers.
You know, one thing I will say about the guys that are selected, they're normally, big leaders of the team. And when I got a chance to talk with Austin Allen, that was his big goal for this year. It was not necessarily catching a bunch of touchdown passes. It was to be elected a team captain and to be a leader for this football team. So and him being on the committee for the athletic director search committee was big as well. I mean, I was really impressed with him. I think he'll do a good job representing Nebraska up there. It's 3 really good representatives of the school, and I know people are wondering where's Adrian? Why is he not going? Well, again, as I mentioned earlier, yesterday and today have been voluntary workouts for the players. They have been given the option to go home, and a lot of the out-of-state players have. They've jetted to go back, see their family and friends. Because once you come back, you settle in. You're not done until, hopefully, after a bowl game in late December. It's a long haul between now and then. Yeah. And, Payne, you just said that. That's crazy to me that, we're approaching the 1-week mark from fall camp. Right. And you might get a couple days off during a bye week, but for the most part, you're grinding during that time. But, yeah, it is the long haul. And there were a couple guys that had talked about going home that they hadn't been home for a long time. They got to go home this summer, or for one of the first times that they were able to go home. Yeah, it was the COVID thing was because once they came back, they kind of put them in a bubble last June and didn't let them out till the season ended, and that's a long haul for young folks to be away. So this is their last reprieve to catch their breath, get ready. Fan Days next Thursday, first practice then on Friday of next week. So because of the Week 0 kickoff, everything's moved up for Nebraska and Illinois too, but everything's it's a week ahead of where it normally would be if Nebraska was just playing on September the 4th like the rest of the country. Which line will be the longest at Fan Day? It'll be the quarterback line. Okay. Longer than Scott Frost's line. Well, and they're limiting the Scott Frost line. You have to be 8th grade or under to get in the Scott Frost line. So that will be long, but I think the quarterback line, that's generally the one people want to go get. So I think they should get in the running backs line. I agree. I think there's really talent, and a star is going to emerge out of that group as we move forward. Programming alert for you. Tomorrow night we're going to hear from Husker quarterbacks coach Mario Verduzco and QB1. Yes, I got a chance to chat with him. Such a nice human being. God, what a nice person. You cheer for somebody like that and root for someone like that and want them to do well. So I was, again, I said I was really impressed with Austin Allen. I asked him about how hard last year was for him, and he talked about the challenges and how much he grew from it, though, and just how he's approached this year. And, again, one of those guys that's kind of being a leader. Last year was kind of wonky, you was weird with not knowing what was going on and not even being able to be together as a group. And so kind of feeling some of those guys like Adrian and Cam, they were kind of the young guys, and now they are the old guys, so kind of taking on that leadership role as well. So we'll look forward to hearing from Adrian tomorrow night here on the program. Need to slip in our final break of the night, 402-413-2400. The number if you want to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. We're back with our final segment next.
Nebraska Athletics are hiring event staff for the 2021 home football season. Our #1 requirement, be passionate about Husker football and ready to provide the ultimate fan experience for the greatest fans in college football. As part of the event staff, you serve Husker Nation and check out live game action inside Memorial Stadium. Apply right now and help kick off the Husker football season by working the Garth Brooks concert. For more information and to apply, visit huskers.com/event staff. Go Big Red. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Look away! A runaway train of IT problems is bearing down on our brave IT hero. But wait! It's Marco's Technology Assessment to the rescue with life-saving IT strategies. Our hero's technology issues are derailed. A tip of the hat to Marco. And our hero rides into the virtual sunset of our WebEx background. For more successful IT adventures, go to marconet.com.
Buckle up, put the phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night. 402-413-2400, the number to call us with a comment or question. Let's go to the phone. Let's go to
blowing up
Grand
over here.
Island. Greg, you're up next. Good evening. Greg, you there?
Comment earlier with the whole, yeah, can you hear me okay?
Gotcha, yes.
I just said quick comment on the whole Davo thing you were talking about earlier with him not wanting an expanded playoff. You know, the other part of that too is with having so many NFL prospects and high round draft picks, it just makes it that much more likely that those guys are not going to want to play once the regular season is over. And I'm sure, you know, it's already hard enough to talk those guys into playing in a bowl game, let alone having to play 5 or 6 more games. So for him, it's a big disadvantage, I think, to have to play that many games and have to talk that many more guys into not just leaving the team and going to prepare for the NFL draft.
Fair point. And Greg, appreciate the call. Thanks for the phone call. Good to hear from you. Yeah, it's a worry. I think it is. I mean, the McCaffreys were the ones that kind of started it. Christian McCaffrey opting out of a big bowl game for Stanford his senior year. Didn't want to hurt his draft status, and it's become more and more prevalent moving on down the road.
I will be interested to see how, because last year with the COVID year was a little different, and there were a lot of opt-outs. I will be anxious to see, going back to a normal year, what that looks like at the end of this season, and then I think I'll form my opinion on really how bad it is at that point.
We probably won't know until they start doing it.
Yeah.
So it's what happens, but I think that possibility is there that could take place. Carlos says, what do you anticipate Kevin Warren's first Big Ten Media Days are going to be like for him? Hearing word that he may not take questions, he may just give kind of a State of the Union address. I think that would be a big mistake. I think you're the commissioner. You're the face of this league. You need to stand up there a time or two during the year and answer questions.
Yeah, I mean, and what's he trying to avoid? I mean, I understand there's some controversial topics, but you're the leader for a reason. You got to stand up there and answer those questions.
Big Ten's opinion means a lot.
It does. You have to be able to answer those questions.
Absolutely. You can't just hide.
But you know what questions you're going to get. Just prepare your answers.
Absolutely. Prepare for that. Another text, will Trev Alberts be present at Media Days? I'm told, yes, he is accompanying the Nebraska group that is going there, and I think that's great. I think that's really good that the Husker athletic director with a name like Trev Alberts is going to be present. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. He was a two-sport, right? Didn't he play multiple sports?
I'm sure he did in high school. He didn't here, but I'm sure he did.
That's what I meant, like in high school. Yeah. He was one of those guys that we were talking about earlier. Got a lot of comments about that on the text line.
Yeah. All right. Hey, good show tonight. Tomorrow night again. Spoiler alert, Mario Verduzco will break down the quarterbacks, and we'll hear from Adrian as well tomorrow night as we continue the position breakdowns for this football team, which now is only about 10 days away from the first practice session coming up for the Big Red. Fan Day a week from Thursday, first practice week from Friday. It is almost here. We're inside of 40 days for the Husker opener against the Fighting Illini in Champaign. Game 6 about 10 minutes away. What's your call? Give me your call.
Hey, you told me I got to stick with it. So I'm saying the Suns force Game 7 tonight. It goes back to Phoenix for Thursday's Game 7.
Okay. I really have no dog in the fight. I don't care, but I think the Bucks win tonight.
Well, you heard from the McGowans. They both said that they think the Bucks are winning tonight. And we saw how packed out it was at, what was it? Deer District. Deer District. It is.
There were thousands of people there.
Yeah, it is crazy.
There was no social distancing, Jessica, going on there.
There was not.
All right, that'll put a wrap on the show. Thanks to Jessica, to Mike, to Andrew, to all of you for listening tonight. We'll do it again tomorrow. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Because Ford trucks and SUVs are built to help you every day, You made Ford America's best-selling brand. And now you can get great offers on the entire Ford lineup. Come see how at your local Ford store, based on 2019 calendar year total sales. There's a Ford built for everyone, whether it's the latest driver assist technologies, room to fit the whole family, or the power you need on the job site. Ford has you covered. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers today to find great deals on the right vehicle for you.
There is no better way to support your Huskers than becoming a season ticket holder. And a limited number of Nebraska football season tickets are on sale now. Secure your seat in Memorial Stadium for head coach Scott Frost's fourth season at the helm as the Huskers play host to Buffalo, Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, and more. Now is your chance to become part of the storied tradition that is Husker football. To purchase season tickets, call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is caught in the jagged jaws of ransomware attacks and phishing scams. Help! Wait! It's Marco's Network Security Solutions to the rescue with life-saving ways to detect hungry cybervillains and stop them cold in their tracks. With Marco's Network Security Solutions, our IT hero lives to surf another day.